What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Too Pop to Handle. I'm your host, Andrew Nucatola, your pop culture best friend. And as always, I hope you guys are having a fabulous week. I hope everybody had fabulous weekends. I really, really wish that I could come on today and be like, you guys, I went here this weekend. We went out. We did this. We were so productive. We were living our lives. But when I tell you, I did nothing this weekend. I sat my ass on the couch and I watched Love Island for 48 hours straight, and I have no regrets. That being said, I watched Love Island for 48 hours straight. Holy shit. We will do a whole Love Island debrief later in the show because, spoiler alert, the TV recap this week is only going to be Love Island because I hadn't watched anything else. I didn't watch Drag Race, All Stars, or Canada vs. the World. I didn't watch The Kardashians. Like, I am behind on a lot of TV because Love Island has been consuming my life. I don't know what was in the water in Fiji this time of year, but these islanders were bringing the drama. It was so good. I know I didn't finish it, but I know who won. I know pretty much everything that happens. Like, I kind of spoiled it for myself for the sake of the show because I'm just so dedicated to my art. And I just really was like, let me spoil it. Not for me, but for you, for the people, for the Two Pop to Handle listeners. Let me just know what happened and then I'll catch up and do my thing. But yes, this season of Love Island, holy fuck. I also feel like I owe you guys an apology. I feel like I almost have been doing you guys a disservice by not recapping Love Island every single week on this podcast because, like, where the fuck have I been? We'll get into the whys and the who's, the what, the where's, the when, the how's later of Love Island, but holy shit, stay around for that. But yes, I quite literally sat on the couch all weekend long. I didn't go to the gym. I barely cooked myself anything. Like, it was like a DoorDash and rot type of weekend, which I haven't done. I don't do it often. Honestly, I hate not doing things. Like, I hate wasting a weekend and like not going out, but it's been a busy few weeks, few months. Like, I needed my body to like catch up with itself, and that is okay. Let's normalize a lazy weekend. You know what I mean? I feel like as a society, we're all kind of pressured to be like, oh, well, if you're not doing anything for a set amount of time, you're wasting your time. What a waste of energy. And like, to a certain extent, sure. But when you need a day or 2 days or 3 days, whatever it may be, to let your body catch up with itself, it's okay. You know, I used to really beat myself up and be like, I should be doing this and I could be doing that. Like, I was sitting on the couch and I was like, I could be editing stuff for the podcast. I could be planning for the episode this week. I could be, doing things. And I was like, it's okay to unplug. It's okay to turn off. And I think that's a big life lesson I wish I would have told myself in like college and like even just the past few years at work. It is okay to like unplug for a second. And I think the world really would benefit from more unplugging. I think that's like a very good thing that all of us could benefit from. And while we're on the topic of people unplugging, can we just talk about the serotonin boost that you get when you have PTO and you set your out of office reminder? Because nothing makes me feel better than at like 4:45 the day before a vacation, going into my Outlook, hitting that automatic reply response and typing out, thank you so much for your email. I'm sorry I'm out of office for the next few days. If it's an emergency, reach out to some other bitch who's gonna deal with my problem for the next so many hours. I'll be back on this date. Nothing makes me feel better than putting an out of office reply on. And I am going away this weekend. I have a long weekend, so I'm very excited to unplug a little bit and just have like a fabulous little weekend. We are going upstate, seeing some family. So yes, that will be very, very fun. And before we continue with the show, before we hop into our normal routines, there are some big congratulations in order. They didn't really fit into like the show. They were just kind of like just little itty bitty things to mention. So I didn't want to make them a full topic and, add them into the flow of the show. So I figured we're gonna start the show on a high note and just give some congratulations in order because some big things, some historic events, some celebrations, just some things that dare I say are too pop to handle have ensued since we last spoke. So kicking it off, Miss Anne Hathaway, the Princess of Genovia, attended the Eras Tour last week, and not only was she there trading friendship bracelets, being the queen that she is, taking selfies with people, the video of her losing her absolute shit during Ready for It. I did not pin Anne Hathaway as a Reputation stan, but after seeing her physical reaction to Ready for It starting at the Eras Tour, I was like, oh, this bitch is clowning for Reputation Taylor's version just as much as the rest of us. She is a Reputation girl through and through. You cannot convince me otherwise. I was obsessed. I loved it. I definitely pinned her for more of like a 1989 girl. I feel like she kind of fits that vibe more in my mind. I don't know why. That's just kind of like what I would pin her as. But the fact that she's a rep girl, I love to see it. I love to see Anne Hathaway doing anything, and especially attending the Eras tour. I was like, oh, she's one of us. She is one of us. We love to see it. Nothing but respect for the Princess of Genovia. And on the topic of congratulations that are in order, our next little celebration that we have, if you are not familiar with Rachel Chinouriri yet, get familiar with Rachel Chinouriri. I have talked about her a lot on the podcast. Her album came out, I want to say in March, but before that, I was listening to the singles. I'm so obsessed with her album. It's one of my favorites of the year, honestly. And she is opening for no other than Miss Sabrina Carpenter herself. She is the opener on the European leg of the Short and Sweet tour, and I am so incredibly jealous that everybody overseas gets to see Rachel open for Sabrina because like I can't think of a more fun lineup. And B, I am just so proud to see someone literally watching the evolution of their career to now open for Sabrina Carpenter. That is so fucking cool. I am so excited for her. She posted a thing, like a carousel, and the first picture was her DMing Sabrina, literally being like, hey, if you need an opener for the European days, hit me up. And now here she is. And it just goes to show manifestation works. You miss 100% of the chances that you don't take. And Rachel Chinouriri is that bitch. I have nothing else to say, but like, that is incredible. I am so jealous. That is going to be such a good show. I cannot believe she is opening for Sabrina. That is major. And some other fun concert news, because you know that is my favorite news to share on Too Pop to Handle. Chappell Roan and Sasha Colby. Chappell Roan and Sasha Colby. If you did not see, Chappell brought out Sasha at the Capitol Hill block party this weekend in Seattle, which, first of all, no surprise, the crowd was insane. People were watching it from like the roofs of buildings. People were like standing in a gas station watching it. It was nuts. The way that Chappell pulls a crowd is something, again, it needs to be studied. I've said it before. Her come up and her like the way people just are drawn to her shows needs to be studied. She's an icon. And who else to bring out on stage than your favorite drag queen, Miss Sasha Colby. I've talked about Sasha so much on the show before. She is the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race season 15, but she is so much more than that. She is quite literally like the definition of a drag queen. She just does drag to a level that is genuinely, I don't even know the word. She has won Miss Continental. She is the moment. She is everything. And she is, in fact, your favorite drag queen's favorite drag queen. And Chappell is obsessed with her. She talks about her literally all the time. Her big Coachella moment where she said, I'm your favorite artist was a nod back to Sasha. So seeing Sasha come out on stage with her, I know Chappell was geeking out. And we just love to see a full circle moment. Like it was just when I woke up on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday it had to be. It was one of the first things I saw, and I literally would like it was like a cartoon where you like rub your eyes and look again because you don't believe what's in front of you. So fucking cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the final little tidbit of celebration news that we have in order is obviously the elephant in the room of the weekend. I guess the donkey in the room if we're going to talk about the new presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. If you did not see, if you were somehow living under a rock, Joe Biden has dropped out of the presidential election and Kamala Harris is stepping in to replace him. Now, again, I am not here to be a political podcast. I'm not here to, spread the word of these presidential candidates. I think it is quite literally a circus at the moment, unfortunately. But I am feeling a lot better now knowing that Kamala is who we will be voting for in November. And with that, all I'm going to say is please register to vote. You can register until October to be eligible for the November election. So you have plenty of time. I will add a link in the description of this episode to find out if you're registered and to make sure you are registered. Just educate yourself. There's a lot of misinformation going around about Kamala right now. And there's just a lot of people trying to spread things to make her be painted in a negative light. There's just a lot of hate going around. And some of it I can understand. I can get some people's points. But at the end of the day, we are picking between Kamala, a woman of color being president, and Donald Trump. So when it really boils down to it, let's think for a second and let's just remember how evil the things that Project 2025, which is the campaign running behind Donald Trump, is, and the fact that we could have the first woman president later this year. Please educate yourself. Please register to vote. Make sure you are doing your research, let alone the research will be fun. The new campaign that Kamala's team is running out is so fun. Literally leaning into like brat culture. I'm obsessed. Kamala HQ is killing it on TikTok right now. Whoever is behind this campaign, social media wise, is killing it. Please educate yourself. Please register to vote. Please vote in November. You need to vote. It is so important. And in a time like this, it is so important to vote blue no matter who. I understand maybe she is not your first, your second, your third choice. I can understand that. I can respect it. But in a time where we have two extremes for candidates, we need to vote blue, get to the polls. She has already raised $100 million in 36 hours. So clearly people are very excited. It is the most amount of money any presidential campaign has raised in that amount of time ever, which is insane. Obviously, it is way too early to get excited and to count our chickens before they hatch, but it's making me feel hopeful, making me feel good. Please, please, please educate yourself, register to vote, find out where your polling place is, just tell your friends to vote. Like, it is so important. I'm hoping I'm preaching to the choir. I feel like the people listening to this know this and they are registered and they are voting and they are excited for this news and this development. But please just educate yourself, educate your friends. If your friend is saying they don't want to vote, ask them why. Ask them, tell them the things that could happen if they do vote versus if they don't vote. It is very important to use your voice in a time like this. It's always important to use your voice, but especially this election year when we are literally on the line of potentially having Donald Trump back in office. And with that, I am nipping the politics in the butt because we are here to talk about pop culture things. Let's move on. Thank you for that. And we are getting on with the show. You guys know the drill. I start every single show with my first segment being our Drew releases, our new releases from last week, and the new releases coming up this week. And there are a handful. There were some new ones that I wasn't even expecting to be dropped this week. Some things coming out next week I'm very excited about. So let's get into it. First and foremost on the list, Joe Jonas has released his first solo single in a while. I mean, his last real solo project as Joe Jonas was back in 2011, which if you know, you know. And so he hasn't done any completely solo music aside from DNCE in a minute. He released the first single from his upcoming album. It's called Work It Out. And I love this song. It is so much fun. It's such a good summer vibe, such like a nice little message. He's like, go to therapy, get the help you need. Like it's very much just like an uplifting, fun bop. Like I love it. It is so much fun. I really hope the rest of the album has this like upbeat, fun summer vibe. Go check it out. Work It Out by Joe Jonas. It's so good. I love it. I was a little bit worried. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I am so into it. I'm so excited for his album. It comes out in October, I believe, October 18th. So we will chat about any other singles that come out leading up to the album release. I have some friends who I think I'm going to have come on and do an album review episode. That will be very exciting and very fun. But yes, loving this release. I'm very excited for the rest of this album after this first single has come out. The next song we are talking about is Miss Madison Beer, 15 Minutes. And I talked about it last week where I was saying I don't have high expectations. I go back and forth with Madison. I used to really, really like her. I've kind of fallen off a bit. And I think Jocelyn, who I've talked about enough on this show, said it the best. She said that she's very confused in the music she's releasing right now. And I could not agree more. I feel like she's having a really hard time grasping one sound to stick to. And we were talking about it, Jocelyn and we said we were like, it's fine to play around with genres. I encourage it. I think it's so fun when artists play around with genres, but you should at least know what to expect from a project or from like one single or like you like it's always kind of just like a shot in the dark and you just never really know what to expect, which is a good and a bad thing. Unfortunately, in this part, it wasn't the best thing. It just wasn't good. It was fine. Like it wasn't a bad song. I just was like, I couldn't, if you played it right now, I'd be like, oh, I didn't realize this was that song. It just didn't do a number on me, didn't really stick with me, but that is okay. It is what it is. I gave it a shot. But a song that did do a number on me and I cannot stop listening to, that I didn't even know was coming out because there's just been so much music coming out, Jade from Little Mix released her debut single, Angel of My Dreams. And when I tell you this song gets me going, oh my God, I did not realize this bitch had it in her. Again, we talked about Perry's single a few weeks ago or months ago now. I liked Perry's single a lot. I love this song from Jade. She is giving the girls and the gays what they want, what they need. It's so good. When I was first listening to it, it has like this like that intro to it, the first like 30 seconds, but around 33 seconds, this beat drops and it just takes a 180 to the song. It's so good. I love it. The music video, so good. There's also another snippet of another song going around Twitter right now that she's teasing. So like she is on it with this release. I am seated, I am sat. Count me in, sign me up. I love this song. If you have not listened to it, go check it out. Angel of My Dreams by Jade. It is so good. I love it. And another song that I didn't know was coming out because it literally got surprise dropped today. It is another track from Sophie's upcoming album. It is called Berlin Nightmare. If you guys remember when she dropped the last single, I said I was like, it's so weird listening to new Sophie music because obviously she has passed away a few years ago now, and this album now is just projects that she was working on with her friends before she passed. So this song got announced today, and I was like, all right, let's check it out. It's perfect. I'm recording tonight. And it is just, it like listening to it was so surreal because it is such like a true Sophie, like DJ track. Like there's really no words to it. It's just beats and like music to it, which is what Sophie was known for. Her production, her beats, her like that was really her shtick. And again, hearing these songs that are just like obviously from an artist that I did not expect to ever hear new music from, and for the music to still sound so true to the music they were making before they passed, it's a really weird experience. I don't know how to explain it. It's not a bad experience at all, but it's just like I put it on, I was listening to it, and I was like, this, like, it literally just sounds like it could have been from any of her last projects in a good way. Like, it's so true to her sound because it was so unique, and I loved it. It's so good. I'm so excited for this album to come out. September, I want to say, September like 25th, something like that. Very excited for this project. Love that the music is still staying true to who Sophie was, who Sophie is. Obviously, her music is still living on. Brat has so much influence. There's so much influence from Sophie that just like lives through music today. And I think like that's the beautiful thing about music, right? It's like even after somebody passes or something, you can retire from music or whatever it may be, you still can see those influences. And it's just, I don't know, not to get cheesy on the podcast so early into the show, but that is Sophie's new release. And then the final release from last week was one that was not on my radar at all, but Ashlee Simpson has re-released Autobiography in honor of the 20th anniversary. She released the expanded edition, and there are 3 new tracks on it. Not new tracks to her. They are tracks that I believe were from the original album and got cut. So she released the whole album again with 3 new tracks on it. And I mean, that album quite literally raised a generation. It has such a cult following. So when I saw that she was re-releasing it, I was like, this is major. I love the album. I've loved it since it came out. I think I still have the CD actually under my bed. I loved it when it came out. I love this re-release. The 3 new songs were so good. I really loved it. And then also to celebrate the album, she did a show in WeHo. My friend Crystal was there. So hi, Crystal, if you're listening. I know you usually do. And it was insane to see her up on stage performing these songs and like doing her thing. It was just so cool. Such a fun blast from the past. And I am not gonna, I'm not gonna get my hopes up, but all I'm going to say is Miss Lindsay Lohan, your album Speak turns 20 in December. So if you would like to re-release anything, do a show, preferably in New York, whatever you want to do to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Speak, you let me know the date, you let me know what to do because I will be there. I will order the vinyl, I will get the t-shirt, I will whatever it is. However we are celebrating Speak in December, just let me know because I'm there. I'm ready. I tell me where to be and I will be there. And that wraps up our releases from last week. We have 2 new releases coming out this week that are on my radar. Number one being one that I actually talked about a few weeks ago. It was my Yes. But Halsey is releasing Lucky this Friday, which is her second single from her upcoming album, and it is the Britney Spears inspired song. She literally samples Lucky in the chorus, which is just, I mean, what a major song to be able to take and make your own. And she did say that Britney heard the song, Britney approved of it, so obviously she got Britney's approval, which is also major. Also, the second song this year that we've gotten that has sampled another Britney song, Spring Breakers by Charlie XCX, samples every time. Now this one is doing Lucky. I just love to see Britney just still, her influence kind of just continue to shine through with these pop girls, is what we love to see. I'm sure she is, but I hope she's getting some type of royalties for this. I know that's kind of a sticky situation because of her situation. So I feel like Halsey and Charlie wouldn't do the song if Britney wasn't getting paid for it. I hope. Fingers are crossed. But regardless, to see Britney still continuing to influence the girls is what we love to see. And then we also have Ice Spice's album coming out this Friday, Y2K. Not gonna lie, not that excited about it. She has been acting kind of a fool in the media lately. I've heard like she's been screwing over some of her wig stylists. She obviously had all of that drama with her boyfriend, and she's like, or her, whatever it was, she's like bragging about stealing somebody's man. Like, she's just kind of like not giving me great vibes right now. And we've also heard half the album already because it's only 10 tracks and like 4 or 5 of them are already out. So I'm honestly not that excited for this album. I'm going to listen to it. We'll chat about it, but she's kind of just been rubbing me the wrong way. I'm not sure why and what she's going through, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like she's going down a path that I'm just like, oh, girl, you are going to regret these things you're saying, these decisions you're making. I don't know, not feeling the Ice Spice vibes lately, but you know what? Who am I to judge? And that wraps up our Drew releases from the week. As always, you can find these releases in my Drew releases playlist on Apple Music and Spotify. They are linked at the link in my bio on Instagram, so go over there, check it out. I always have them there for you guys to find, so you don't have to search around for them. Moving on to some more pop culture news, Billboard released an article last week giving their 2025 Grammy predictions, which the 2025 Grammys are going to be a bloodbath with the amount of music that's been released from the like cutoff times. So it's going to be one for the books, and I thought this was a fun little thing to dive into and chat about and kind of see where they're at, where I'm at, and just chit chat about what's coming up because, like I said, it's going to be a bloodbath. So, first up, they gave their predictions for Album of the Year, and the list is Cowboy Carter, Short and Sweet, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Eternal Sunshine, Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, Higher, which is Chris Stapleton's album, Tortured Poets Department, and Tyla's self-titled album, Tyla. So, out of this list, the only one I have not listened to, or the only two rather, is Higher by Chris Stapleton and Tyla's album. I have heard great things about Tyla's album. I have it saved on my phone. I just have not listened to it yet because I haven't gotten around to it. So I'm not going to comment on those two, but the rest of these albums I love. I definitely am surprised to not see Brat on their list. They did also for each category that they're predicting did Within Reach, and Charlie's Brat is on that list. But I think to not put it on one of their predictions for album of the year is very bold. Brat has not only been a greatly critically acclaimed album. It is such like taking over culture in every sense. Every brand, every social media campaign, literally Kamala Harris is even on board with the Brat summer trend. And like to think that Brat isn't at least going to be nominated from Album of the Year is crazy. I'm biased. It is one of my favorites of the year, but like it's got to be there. Come on. Like they would be insane. I mean, the Grammys are insane and again, the Grammys really mean nothing, but to not nominate Brat would just be like a disservice to the culture. But obviously, Cowboy Carter needs to be on this list. It is still in my top 5 of the year. I'm obsessed with it. You guys know Beyonce's my girl. No shocker there. Let's see. Maybe this is the year that she wins Album of the Year. She is the most awarded artist in Grammy history and has no Album of the Year award. So maybe this will be the one. Obviously, Jay-Z did his number last year, or this year rather, where he, dragged them literally on stage for not giving her Album of the Year ever. And she did call them out on Cowboy Carter for not giving her Album of the Year ever. But with that, I'm sure she'll be nominated. Maybe they'll get some sense knocked into her and she'll win this time. We will see. The second album on this list, I was actually shocked that they put it on there for their predictions. Not that I don't think they deserve it, but Short and Sweet isn't even out yet, and they are already gunning for it for Album of the Year. I do see the hype and the excitement behind it. And I think just Sabrina within it of herself is such a moment this year. I mean, I talk about her every single week, but I thought it was really cool, I guess, and like bold almost to see them put short and sweet on this when it's literally not out yet, but definitely deserves. I know that album's going to kill it. I'm so excited. Again, she was the only female on the Billboard Hot 100 or top 10 rather this week. So like she is killing it already. Espresso and Please 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 are literally everywhere. They will not slow down. People are eating them up. So this album is going to be insane. And I'm sure it will end up getting nominated for multiple Grammys. So I'm excited for that. But I just thought that was interesting to put an album that isn't out yet. Hit Me Hard and Soft, Billie Eilish's album. I still listen to it pretty regularly. I love it. Definitely deserves a spot on this list. And Eternal Sunshine. I mean, that album is so incredible. It would literally be like cruel to not give Ariana that nomination. I think it is one of the best releases we've had this year. It is top of my list at the moment. Her and Brat go back and forth for my number one favorites of the year. But yes, Eternal Sunshine needs a spot on this list. The next one is Miss Chappell Roan. So a lot of people were saying, like, how can Chappell be nominated for Album of the Year? Best New Artist, which we'll get into, if her album came out in 2023 and she's been making music for so long. And her album actually was released literally a week after the cutoff date for the Grammy. So when they start their cycle, there's like a certain range of dates. It's like the end of September to the beginning of I don't know. Honestly, I forget the cutoff. They change it very often, so it's very hard to keep up with. But she did release within the range of when she could be nominated for a Grammy. So obviously, I would love to see her win a Grammy for this album. She has clearly been taking over the world this year, so 100% deserves a spot there. Higher by Chris Stapleton, not my thing, not gonna lie. Not a country person, not my vibe, but good for you, I guess. If you're a good country person, then keep it up. Tortured Poets Department. I mean, obviously Taylor's going to be nominated. I will fully say it. I do not think she deserves to win. Do I think Taylor has been the moment of the year? Yes, but she was also the moment of the year last year. Like, she's just been on this high because of the Eras tour. I don't know if Tortured Poets needs to be album of the year. And I know that's controversial. I know a lot of people are going to disagree. And if Tortured Poets is your album of the year, that is great. Taylor will absolutely be nominated. I just don't think she needs to win this one. I think she can win other Grammys for the album. I do think it deserves Grammys, but I'm like, I don't know if she needs the album of the year for this album. Just what I just my thoughts. Don't hold me to the stake. And then, like I said, Tyla is on the list as well. I have not listened, but honestly, she has been doing her big ones. Good for her. Out of the rest of the people on there within reach, Doja Cat was on there. We Don't Trust You, Post Malone, again, not out yet. Casey Musgraves, Deeper Well, absolutely killer album. I would love to see that on there. Yeah, so this is all just their predictions. Obviously, we will do a full Grammy nomination recap. I did that last year and it was so much fun. So we'll do a full recap when the actual nominations come out. But these are just their predictions and my 2 cents. For record of the year, they had Texas Hold'em, Beautiful Things by Benson Boone, Espresso, Lunch, We Can't Be Friends, Too Sweet by Hosier, Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar, and Good Luck Babe. Out of that entire list, I will honestly say I think Good Luck Babe deserves record of the year. The not only the hype behind it and just like how much everybody loves it, but the production on that song is so good. The way that it ends with the record kind of slowing down and it sounds like it's warped and just like the buildup of it. I mean, that bridge is so killer. Oh my God. I out of this list, I'm going to go ahead and say Good Luck Babe deserves record of the year. They also listed Agora Hills, Lovin' on Me. What else is on here? Saturn by SZA, which I would love to see. Oh, they put Fortnite, Taylor Swift, obviously featuring Post Malone. Again, I don't see that as a record of the year. That's just, I don't know, not, not, not on my list. But you know what? Again, these are predictions. For Song of the Year, we have Beautiful Things again by Benson Boone. Honestly, I don't know that song. I feel like I should listen to it because he's getting a lot of nominations or predictions rather on this list. Maybe I'll check him out. I probably won't be obsessed with it, but he's obviously doing something right if he's on all of these lists. But Beautiful Things, Espresso, Fortnite, no. Good Luck Babe, Lunch, Not Like Us, Texas Hold'em, We Can't Be Friends. I I'm torn here because I could honestly see it being Espresso. I could see it being Good Luck Babe. and I could see it being Texas Hold'em out of this list. I think Texas Hold'em, when it came out, had a choke hold on people. And when if it's a song of the year, it needs to be a song that really solidified a moment of the year. And like dropping it during the Super Bowl, the build up to Cowboy Carter from there, like there was such a movement with Texas Hold'em when it came out. I could 100% see that getting Song of the Year. Good Luck Babe. Again, I just had a Record of the Year, but I do think that it just like it really had such a push when it came out. Releasing it right before Coachella and then just like running with it was genius. And another song that was released right before Coachella was Espresso. I mean, Song of the Summer. It absolutely is pushing the way that Texas Hold'em is. It is everywhere, the way Texas Hold'em was when it came out. And Espresso is not letting up as far as streams. Like people are eating it up still. And yeah, those are my three. I think out of those three, I think this list, sure, nominate them all, but out of those three, I'm gonna say one of those three could win for the year. I'm also, side note, very excited to revisit this episode when the Grammy nominations come out in what is it, like February, and see what was nominated, what I was thinking, and then kind of go from there. But anyway, moving right along, the last category that they had predicted people for was Best New Artist. So again, on this list, Benson Boone, he is really just, I guess he's doing his thing. Good for you, Benson. Keep it up. Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan. Now, I put those two together because I did want to note. So, the reason these two artists can be nominated for Best New Artist, despite not being a new artist, is because the Grammys aren't chart based. They say that they do think in terms of public consciousness and achieving prominence. So, it's not necessarily that they are a new artist in general, is that to the public and to like they are a new artist and like making waves within the music space. And I mean, this year, Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan are two of the most talked about artists really ever. They are taking over every chart, every news story, every pop culture moment. Like they really are making waves this year as a new artist to so many people. So that I hope that kind of clarifies what best new artist can be, because for a while I didn't understand it either. I was like, how can somebody be nominated for best new artist who's been releasing for so many years? But when you put it in that perspective of like the Grammys aren't looking at charts, they're looking at public consciousness. This would be the year that Sabrina and Chappell are nominated. Continuing on the list, Megan Maroney, Sexy Red, Shabuzi, Teddy Swims. I love Shabuzi. Obviously, I wasn't familiar with him before Cowboy Carter, as I think a lot of people weren't, but I've listened to a lot of his music since, and it's just fun. He's good. I love, oh my God, what is his song? He just went number one again this week with it. Um, oh my God, it's slipping my mind, but he has that song that's like blowing up everywhere right now. He's doing it. He is killing the game again. He just got number one again, which so crazy. Him and Beyonce are the only two artists of color to ever go number one on the Billboard Hot 100, which A, insane that it's taken this long to have that momentum, and be incredible that it happened within a few months of each other. We talked about this a few weeks ago, but so cool. Out of this list, I mean, it's really hard to say. Obviously, I would love Sabrina, I would love Chappell, I would love Shabuzi, I would love Sexy Red, honestly. I don't listen to her that often, but when I do, I'm always like, okay, I get why everyone's obsessed with her. And I saw her at Gov last month, and her set was so much fun. So I would not be mad about Sexy Red winning Best New Artist, but I could see Sabrina or Chappell getting this for sure. Those are the only categories that they did their predictions for. I just thought it would be fun to kind of go through and like recap what they're thinking and give my 2 cents on what, could come of the Grammys 2025, because it's really going to be a bloodbath. Like it's gonna be fucking insane. I'm a little nervous. I'm nervous for the nominations, I'm nervous for the performances, and I'm worried for the actual award show because like everybody has released an album this year. We will see what happens. Moving on to some actual nominations. The Emmy nominations came out this week. We're not going to talk too much about them, but a lot of the shows that I talk about on the podcast got a lot of nominations. So I just wanted to give them their flowers, just run through, chat about it quick. First up on my list, Hacks got 16 nominations, which, if you have not watched Hacks, it is so good. I was late to the party. I started on season 3, but honestly, the episodes were quick. It was easy to watch. We binged it in like 2 or 3 weeks. Such a fantastic show. Again, I know I'm very late to the party, but they got nominated 16 times. Like I said, they got nominated Outstanding Casting, Outstanding Lead Actress for Jean Smart. absolutely deserved. Outstanding Supporting Actress, Hannah Einbinder, absolutely deserved. Outstanding Comedy Series, just amongst the rest of them, they're killing it. They sweeped. They were one of the top nominations, which we love to see. Next up, one of my all-time favorites. You guys know I could go on about this show for hours. Abbott Elementary got 9 nominations, including Outstanding Comedy Series, Outstanding Casting, Outstanding Directing. Quinta Brunson, my girl, getting nominated for Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. Cheryl Lee Ralph and Janelle James, both nominated for Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. And then Tyler James William nominated as well for Supporting Actor. I just love this show so much. It's coming back in September, I want to say. I can't wait. What a fantastic show. I can't say enough good things about it. I love Abbott Elementary so much, and I love to see Quinta Brunson winning. I love to see Quinta Brunson win. Ugh. The next one on our list has the most nominations out of all the shows that I grabbed, and it is Only Murders in the Building, which I'm very excited. It comes back next month. I love that show. If you're not watching it, you definitely should hop onto it before it comes back. It is so good. Season 3 was killer and literally had a killer ending. Spoiler alert, but it was such a good ending, and I'm so excited to see where they take season 4. But they got 21 nominations, which I think they were like the third or fourth most nominated show, which is just incredible. We love to see it. Selena Gomez got her first Emmy nomination for lead actress. Steve Martin, Martin Short, both got lead actor nominations. Their costume design got nominated. Again, outstanding comedy series, just like Abbott and Hacks. Meryl Streep got best supporting actress. Like, this show is so good, and I think the fact that like they're so many of their nominations were for specific episodes and like directing of episodes, the writing of certain episodes, the music in certain episodes really goes to show that there is like something for everybody in this show. It is so good. I love it. If you are not watching it, it's on Hulu, I believe. Yes, on Hulu. So good. Love that show. Cannot wait for it to come back. The next one on our list is Traitors. So this show got 4 nominations, 2 of which were Outstanding Host, Outstanding Reality Competition. Season 2 of The Traitors was out of control. It was truly unmatched reality TV, and I am so excited. I hope they win because they deserve it. What a good show. I cannot wait for season 3 to come back. And then finally, wrapping up our Emmy nominations was Drag Race Season 16, which I recapped every single week on the podcast. I loved this season. It was so good. You guys know that. It was one of my favorites, honestly. And they got 8 nominations. RuPaul was nominated again for Outstanding Host. Fun little fact, RuPaul is the most awarded Black artist in Emmy history and has 8 consecutive wins for Outstanding Host at the Emmys. And we just love to see it. They also got Outstanding Reality Competition, Outstanding Casting, just, all the things, all the good things. We love to see it. I'm very excited to see who sweeps this year. I love to see so many of the shows that we recapped and talked about on the podcast getting their flowers because I love these shows so much and I cannot wait for the next seasons to be recapping them with you guys. And that wraps up our Emmy nominations, which leads us in to some more TV news, which is none other than Love Island USA Season 6. Like I said at the top of the episode, we're not going to do a full TV recap this week because I quite literally have watched nothing but Love Island since we last spoke. I haven't watched Drag Race, Kardashians, nothing, because this show has controlled my brain. It is all I think about. It is so phenomenal. If you are watching and you are not caught up and you don't want spoilers, check out the timestamps down below so you can skip ahead because we are going to talk about the entire season. We're going to talk about spoilers, who won, the whole vibe. So this is your warning. If you are watching Love Island or you want to watch Love Island and you are not there or finished yet or know who won, skip ahead because I will have the timestamps down below. But holy shit. First and foremost, let me just say, if they ever tried to do this show with gay men, it would last all of 3 hours. It would be so goddamn messy. There's no way. The first second that one guy brought another guy's up to soul ties, it would be a wrap. There would be vodka sodas being thrown. The vocal fry in the room would be out of control. If they ever do a gay season of this show, God bless those producers because it is going to be fucking Nuts. And now, if you want to talk about historic events that have happened in the last few weeks, let's talk about Casa Amor because holy shit. When I saw Miguel, Cordell, and Kenny walk in with other girls, I was so shook. First and foremost, how dare you do my girl Janae like that? How dare you? I mean, really, all of them, but Janae is my favorite. Let's get that out of the way. I love her. And when Kenny turned that corner with that other bitch, ooh, I could have jumped through the screen. I could have jumped through the screen and strangled him. And also Cordell bringing that other girl back. Also, side note, I don't remember any of the Casa Amor girls' names because they literally, like, when putting the Villa girls and the Casa girls next to each other, it is like -4 and 100. Like, there is no comparison in my eyes. So, forgive me that I don't know all their names. Obviously, I know Daniela because she was like drama mama, but like we'll get to that. Casa Amor was fucking insane. Those boys were messy. They had some screws loose in their heads. I was shook magook insane. Also, the fact that Aaron was hooking up with Daniela, and then at the last few minutes, he was like, actually, why don't you go to Rob and hook up with him? Did he think that was going to cover his ass? Did he think that was going to like soften the blow to Kaylor? Because, like, in what world are you going to be in a very serious coupling at the villa? Go to Casa Amor, find another very serious coupling after you just told your coupled up girl in the villa that you want to meet her family. You guys are like showering together, doing your big one, doing, this, that, and the third. Then you're going to go to Casa Amor when you didn't even want to go to begin with. You almost stayed back. Let's not forget. Let's not forget the fact that you, Cordell, and Kendall all almost stayed back from Casa Amor, and then you, at the last minute, the three of you decided to go. And the fact that you went, found this girl, did the numbers with her, then passed her on to Rob, went back to the villa, and acted as if Kaylor wasn't going to find out or wasn't going to be pissed. Joke is on you. Messy.com. I can't. I cannot. So let's go through these couples quick, and we're going to go through even the ones that didn't make it through the season because I have thoughts. First and foremost, the most toxic couple, second most toxic couple, Leah and Rob. I let me just set this straight before we go any further with the couples. Leah out of a relationship, she's great. I like her. I understand she is the people's princess of Love Island, even though she is toxic. I see the appeal. I get it. Leah in a relationship, however, is the most toxic person I have ever seen in my life. The way that she took Connor from Janae, and the second the coupling was over, was like, actually, I don't think I like him. And then tried to go back to Rob. Crazy. And don't even get me started on Rob. He just rubbed me such a wrong way. The fact that he literally was ready to leave with Andrea after they voted to send her home, which, by the way, the girls voting to send Andrea home, they clearly should have sent Janae home, but thank God they didn't because she is my queen. I fucking love her. If the girls sent Janae home, I would have stopped watching, genuinely. She is my favorite on the show. I adored her. And yeah, there was just no way they were sending her home. Even they said from the jump, they're like, it's not even between the three of them. It's between Andrea and Nicole. Also, thank God they sent Nicole home. We'll get into that in a minute. But when they sent Andrea home, even though she was coupled up and in that connection with Rob, I could not stop laughing. I was gagged. It was so funny. It was really the only option when you really boil it down because there was no way Janae was going home. And like, clearly it was petty to send her home because if she stole Rob from Leah. Duh, like we're not stupid. Even though there's the whole thing about like she didn't steal, Leah didn't send Andrea home, whatever it is. 2 + 2 is 4, bitch. We know the drill. Like we know what's going on. Speaking of toxic couples, Kaylor and Aaron, yes, they were coupled up from day one, but yes, they are probably the most toxic couple on this show. If you have not read Kaylor's Instagram comment in the last few days, Jesus Christ, I'm not condoning bullying. I don't think it's okay to like be so aggressive and rude to people, but the fact that her Instagram got taken down because people were reporting it and were being so negative in her comments, it's a little crazy. I don't think Aaron and Kaylor are endgame. I don't think they I don't think she should have forgiven him after he got back from Casa and did his number with Daniela. Like, I don't think they should have gotten back together. Spoiler alert again, if you're still listening, I haven't seen this episode yet, but I believe that they end up just leaving the villa together. I don't think they get voted out. I think they just both decide, like, we're happy, we're going to be together, and they leave. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't gotten fully to that episode, but that's the vibe that I got from the research I was doing. Um, the fact that they leave together and are after all of that happened with Daniela, and clearly he lied to her, clearly lied to Kaylor, that is, clearly told her things that weren't fully true, and then got fucked over at movie night specifically. That's the episode I'm at right now. When she finds everything out. Like, what are you doing, Kaylor? Why are you with him? I don't understand. That being said, let's move on from them because I had enough. I was like, you know what? You guys are so happy, lovey dovey. Go take your shower together and get off of my screen. Back to Leah for a second. Leah and Miguel, I like them together. I do. I think Miguel and Leah have a good vibe. They're definitely a little wishy washy. Do I think they're going to last? Probably not. They'll last for a little bit, but he lives in London, I believe, and she is in Calabasas. So it's already long distance. And the fact that, like, I mean, Leah literally has more followers than Love Island does on Instagram right now. Homegirl is about to be booked and busy. She's not gonna have time for a relationship. She's not gonna have time to fly to London. So he's gonna have to fly to LA to see her. I just don't see it in their cards, unfortunately. As much as I would be happy to see them thrive and do their thing, she is crazy. She is toxic. Love her, but she is toxic as hell. So we will see where that relationship ends up going because I don't know. I don't know. Some shit is gonna go down with them. I know it. I feel it in my bones. Janae and Kenny, I would love to see the endgame and last forever. I think even after the little hiccup after Casa Amor, I think it was Janae stood her ground, which I love that. She was very stern on what she was thinking and how she was feeling, but I think Kenny also did it in a more respectful way than a lot of the guys. So I would love to see them be endgame. It's hard to say when it's a TV show. You know what I mean? Like when you are meeting on a show and you only know each other for a month and then you're supposed to like be in love, it's not realistic. It's obviously for the plot of the show. I would love to see them be endgame. We will see. Like I said, Janae is my favorite from the show. I will be following them for sure and seeing what is going on with them. I would hate to see them break up, but we will see. I would love to see them together. And then, spoiler alert, the winners of the show, Serena and Cordell. I love them and I loved them from the start. Yes, they had their back and forth, and obviously Casa Amor was very testy of their relationship because Cordell, he did overstep. He definitely overstepped. But at the same time, Serena was not really giving him as much as he wanted. But I don't think she needed to. I think she was going at the pace that she felt comfortable, and she was very upfront about that. She was very clear that, like, I am not rushing into something and giving you everything and like gonna be lovey dovey and be all in and put my eggs all in one basket until I know that this is what I want for real, which yes, the point of the show is to like find a connection and like run with it, but I kind of respect the fact that she didn't do that and she was continuing to be open. She wasn't disrespectful with any of the other guys that she was exploring. She was clear with her intentions. I do think the nightclub scene where they had to do the thing where they would dance and then like decided they were going to be exploring their options or closed off and Cordell stayed closed off and she was in the back being open, that was gaggy. I was not expecting that. And I did feel really, really, really bad for Cordell in that moment. But at the same time, she was very clear on the fact that she wanted to be open to explore any options because you never know when a new bombshell could walk through the door and like completely uproot your entire relationship. So definitely, I could see where they were wishy washy through the season. But I think the fact that they ended up working through it. They really went through a lot of emotions in the month or 2 months that they were in the villa together. And I think the fact that they were able to work through it and still were like working some kinks out, I think that kind of gives them that longevity of like they'll be able to work some things out and like push through it. I do see them being hopefully endgame. Janae and Kenny and Serena and Cordell, I would love to see being endgame because I loved them. I'm so happy Serena and Cordell won. And now the couple that I truly believe is going to be endgame, regardless of the show, no matter what, is Nicole and Kendall. I loved and adored Kendall from the second he walked into the villa. I was like, I love him. He is so cute. He's so funny. He's just like goofy, wants to have fun. And he definitely went through the ringer. He definitely, had his fair share of couples up. He was coupled up with Hannah to begin with, and then he kind of bounced around a bit. And he definitely, I feel like he had a rocky start, but I think the fact that he didn't cement himself down in one situation let him have that space to be open to Nicole coming in and coupling up with her. And now they've ended up having such like a fun friendship and relationship. On the topic of Kendall, though, I want to say I am not going to go too far into this, but the fact that somebody is leaking revenge porn on him the day that the show ends, you are a sick and twisted individual. Luckily, he is all right and he's like not taking it too hard. People are so fucked up. Releasing revenge porn for anybody is insane, but when Love Island has a history of people literally offing themselves, there have been two contestants and a prior host of people who have killed themselves because of backlash and drama that has come from the show and after it. To release any type of revenge porn for anyone, disgusting, but especially when the stakes and this show has this unfortunate like curse around it. Like that is a sick and twisted individual. He did release a statement saying like, he did send that video in confidence, so he knows who must have leaked it. So I'm curious to see if he takes legal action. I don't blame him if he does. I honestly think he should because like that is fucked up and just like the grimiest way to like get back on someone or like make a quick buck. Disgusting. I don't think it's going to rock the boat between him and Nicole. I think they are very secure in their relationship, and I think that they will be fine through it. I think they've had enough time together. I mean, they went to the hideaway together. They spent so much time getting to know each other before they closed it off with each other. I think they'll be fine. I have no, I would love them to be endgame. I really think out of anybody on this season, they will be. I'm curious to see why they go home and how they go home because again, I'm not done yet and I haven't gotten there yet, but regardless, I know that they were coupled up and they are still together from what I know. So loving that. And then the last Islander that we're going to recap quick is Liv. Okay, when she entered the villa at first, I wasn't vibing with her. She kind of was like nothing.com for a little bit. She didn't really bring much to the show. And then she was coupled, she'd be coupled up and it would be the wrong person. And she just like could not find love with anyone. But I think her purpose on the show wasn't to find love. I think it was to be like the definition of a girl's girl and be a best friend because she had everyone's in that villa's back. She was like a ride or die bitch for every single one of those girls when they needed it, not afraid to confront someone, not afraid to clear someone if they needed to. I loved Liv. I really wish that she was able to find a connection and leave coupled up with someone, but I don't think she would have been able to be such a great friend if she was coupled up with someone because her energy would have been put into that. So, yes, it sucks that you go to this show to find love, but I think that the like friendships and connections she built with everybody on the side are much more like rich and stronger than any connection, like love connection she could have made. This season was so fucking good. I loved it. I'm so sad that it's over and I'm thankful that I still have some episodes to watch regardless of knowing like how it ends. Like I feel fine knowing how it ends because I'm still excited for this drama that we're going to get in the next few episodes, but like my fucking God, what a good season. I just loved it. It was such a good season. Again, I regret not watching it in real time and recapping it on the podcast because it's so good and I can't imagine being able to talk with you guys about it every single week, but it is such a time commitment, which is why I didn't start it. I've watched Love Island before. I watched a lot of the UK seasons like pre-pandemic, and it's on like 4 times a week. So it is a big commitment, which is what was like steering me away from not watching it. But after seeing everybody being obsessed with it, I was like, all right, you know what? I've got to fucking watch it. I've got to do it. And I'm so glad that I did. So if you've been on the fence about watching it, and regardless of those spoilers, I would still say watch it. It's such good reality TV. Oh my God, I fucking loved it. And with that, we have made it to the final segment of the show. Again, I will catch up on Drag Race and the Kardashians for next week. We will talk about everything, so we'll have a hefty TV recap next week. But that being said, we have made it to the final segment of the show. It is time for my yes and my mess. My yes being something I'm loving and my mess being something I'm not loving. And my yes this week is queen behavior from a princess. If you did not see, the Princess of Dubai, Shake Mohammed, literally called for divorce from her husband via an Instagram post, not even a story, in feed. This woman literally told her husband that she was calling for a divorce via an Instagram post. No caption, nothing else. She posted a black square with white font that said, "Dear husband, as you are occupied with other companions, I hereby declare our divorce. I divorce you, and I divorce you. Take care, your ex-wife." I don't know the legality behind this. I don't know if this actually means that they're going to get a divorce. I'm sure that there's some more paperwork. I'm not a lawyer. I host the podcast, so that's my extent on, legality issues. But I just love the fact that like this is how she announced it. She's the Princess of Dubai, and she told her now ex-husband that they're getting a divorce via an in-feed Instagram post. That is mother behavior. Get her on the Real Housewives of Dubai. I'm obsessed. I when I saw this, it was in my immediate yes. I was like, "Yep, we need to that's it." There's nothing that could have topped it. It is so iconic. The comments, however, disgusting. The misogyny and like the ugh, men are so gross. I can't. Regardless, she is a princess acting like a queen, and we love to see it. And my mess this week. Now, this was a double-edged sword because some people really had a win with this, but then it really did fuck some people up. And I think the mess of it is the way people reacted when it fucked up their day, but it is the CrowdStrike outage on Friday. So if you somehow didn't see, somebody pushed a software update at CrowdStrike, which is like some huge software. I don't really know what they do, to be honest, but they're pretty much behind Microsoft. And they did a software update overnight that did not go as planned. So a lot of people woke up on Friday getting on their computers and had the blue screen of death on their PC saying, "Sorry, we can't update your computer." So a lot of the world got to not work on Friday, which is like incredible. We love a day off at Two Pop to handle. On the other hand, it affected pretty much every major airline, and people's flight were delayed for like days. Now, that sucks, and I can't imagine the frustration and the anger behind that, but the way that people were treating these flight attendants, the gate attendants, the people at the airport, as if they were the ones who pushed restart on the software update, people need to I, I feel like people just need to like take a test before they do anything in public, like fly or anything like that, because like your mental stability needs to be at a certain level before you go into an airport and speak to somebody the way that some of these people were speaking to these attendants. Do you think the woman working at the Delta fucking gate pushed update on the software and is the reason she can't figure out where your flight is and when you're taking off? Like, why are I get it, you're frustrated, but let's reel it in for a second and realize, like, hey, she is doing her job. They are doing the best that they can. It is a global outage. It was literally affecting everything. I know Starbucks wasn't getting mobile orders. Like I said, the flights weren't taking off. People couldn't work. Like there was a lot going on. And I get that you had to get somewhere. I was seeing people who, like, my family couldn't fly in for my wedding. I couldn't get to my vacation. I couldn't get here. Like, I get it. I am not discrediting the act in which your day was ruined. The mess of the week is the way that you were acting because of something that was out of these people's control. People need to take a chill pill. More people need to smoke weed or something. Like they need to relax because the way that these Karens were acting in these airports, those attendants are better than me because I would have ended up on the news for another crime. Like it was bad news bears. I could believe it because like people are so fucking rude and nasty and just like evil spirited and just take their anger out on anybody but the person at actual fault. But those videos, like the way people were screaming at these attendants, they're better than me. They are better than me. And that is why I work in marketing at a computer. I don't speak to the public. I don't deal with anyone in the public because I've done it. I've had my fair share. I was a barista. I worked in customer service. Like I have done my fair share of public work. And there is a reason I don't do it anymore because I can't deal with stupidity. And with that, we have made it to the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of Two Pop to Handle. If you liked what you heard and you're listening to us as a podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating, leave us a review. It really helps the podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment, hit subscribe. I say it every single week. If everybody listening to this episode sent it to one friend, I will double in listeners. Simple math, it is easy. Hit the share, send it to a friend. Spread the wealth of Too Pop to Handle, you know. You enjoyed it, you got this far, so why not send it to your friend? I'm sure she would enjoy it too. If you would like to follow us on socials, we are at 2pop to handle on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, I am there. If you're interested in following my personal socials, I am at Andrew Nucatola on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And with that, I will catch you guys next week. Bye.